You are watching Your High School Sports, the source for football in the Southeast. Powered by Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge and on Highway 66 in Sevierville. Here is your host, Roddy Woods, along with co-hosts Chris Blevins, Chris Reddick, and Jake Nichols.
Welcome to Your High School Sports. I'm Roddy Woods, your host, along with Chris Tan-Man Blevins is back in the house with us, and Chris Reddick, and Jake Nichols. A lot of great things happen, a lot of great games. Hey guys, we're going to jump right into it. Chris, what's happening in the Tri-Cities?
Tri-Cities area, that's right. We're not going to talk around the nation because we've got so much to talk about. And there were some great games that happened this past week. One of the games I got to see, I'd like to thank everyone for voting for the Your High School Sports Game of the Week, which was chosen Greeneville against Science Hill. And oh my goodness, was this a good game. Let me tell you what, I come into it at the first half, or the second half, and Science Hill was up 21-0. Well, at point to it was 21-0, but I think when I got there it was 21-13. So anyway, Science Hill looked like they were going to run away with this, but believe it or not, Science Hill found a way to lose. Oh, they gave it away. They turned the ball over. They had a nice drive. One of the key players, Chris Thompson, he got hurt in the third quarter, so they put in Malik Bowman, which is also a good running back. Had a nice drive in the third quarter. They're killing the clock. Nice running. All of a sudden, he fumbled. Something told me in my head, this is going to be the turning point of the game. And believe it or not, it was. But, you know, Greeneville being Greeneville, because they were making a lot of mistakes, too. Both teams were making a lot of mistakes. But when you're a championship team, Chris, you got to find a way to win. And they definitely found a way to win. And they took advantage of all the mistakes that Science Hill did. And one of the key players that did it, guess what? Was one of Science Hill's own players from last year. I don't know if you remember the quarterback, A.J. Stewart. Yes. He plays for Greeneville, had a key interception, and he had a touchdown. But my man, Youngblood, Ty Youngblood, running back, he has it, if you can see on the screen right now, an outstanding run where he just was determined to get in the end zone. And I'm just going to say from that point on, Greeneville did not look back, and they took advantage of every turnover, like I said, to where Greeneville kept them pretty much the ball away from for the last 17 minutes of the game. But Science Hill, great effort. I apologize that you let that one go because they had them. They had them right there and they let it go. But
Greeneville is a good football team.
Greeneville is a good football team. Like I said, the only difference is they've been making a lot of mistakes, and also even on the special teams, they missed 3, I think, PATs, which this is an outstanding kicker, so I don't know what was going on there. Right. Penalties and just simple things like that. But once they get back on course, they're going to be ready. Another quick game I want to talk to you about. I'm not going to say much about it. But Boone took on and came into Elizabethton Cyclones house, which, by the way, this was the first home game of the year. They had to go almost a whole month without a game. Yes. You know what? They had some outstanding players that stood out. The quarterback, Bryson Rollins, had 2 touchdown passes. Cade Moffett, another one we talk about, had over 100 yards, had a big 80-yard run just before the half. Jake Roberts, sophomore, just like Bryson Rollins, had a great catch. Also had a pick 6. So very outstanding games there in the Tri-Cities.
All right, so let's move on to Lakeway and Knoxville.
Yeah, and add something to you, Chris. I think it's funny when we talk about Greeneville, though. It's like we wasn't sure what Greenville was going to get. New coaching staff, losing, a big quarterback going out there. Where'd he go to?
He went to Army.
Yes. And then all of a sudden it shows you when you build a program from the ground up,
that's right.
Sustain.
That's right.
It's cool to see that out there. So if your team's not doing good right now, like I'm about to talk about, know there's something good to come in the future. So in the Lakeway area, Morristown West had a bad game, 45-0 against Cherokee this past week. I haven't got to catch up with Coach Sanders, but I know they're going to get back on track. They are 1-4 starting out the season, the only win coming at Morristown East. But I did catch up with Coach Slover this week, and he talked a little about his quarterback and how his quarterback was moving the ball, and about how his defense was really catching up to the offense. Tell me a little bit about your quarterback play. I know we talked about that a couple weeks ago. What have you seen from your quarterback?
I think he just continues to grow. I mean, he's getting better each week. I think he's hitting somewhere around 75% completions or something like that. So, really getting the ball out and getting it where he needs to go. And we've got some receivers stepping up to help him out. So, been excited about his progress so far. And defensively, I think we just got to, if we can step up and play like we did last week for 3 quarters and play at the ball game, obviously we continue to give ourselves a chance.
Now, let's go to Maryville. You went out there last Thursday night to the big game, Maryville and Alcoa. Tell us about it.
Yes, so starting out last Thursday night, Alcoa and Maryville, the 91st meeting between those two teams for the battle at Pistol Creek. And guys, it was crazy as usual. Packed stands on both sides. The Maryville student section, big shout out to you guys. Y'all were going nuts all night long, and that had a crazy impact as well. The Rebels won 17-3 in a defensive matchup. Going into halftime, it was tied at 3 with both teams having a field goal. Coming out of that half, Maryville able to score a touchdown there in the fourth quarter with Parker McGill finding his way into the end zone. And then later on, Cade Chambers, the Maryville quarterback, icing it with a minute left on a QB sneak from 1 yard out. But the big news from this matchup, Maryville with 4 turnovers on the night, but their defense held strong all night long against that Alcoa offense, and they were able to pull away with a big win in this rivalry going into next season. I know it was a big point of interest for them going into this week that Alcoa came into Maryville last season and got a win, planted their flag at midfield, and that was a big point of mindset for the Maryville players. They did not like that showing from Alcoa at all, and guys, they made them feel it this past Friday. So going on to West against Jefferson County Friday night, the Rebels beat the Patriots 49-22. Jeff County not really able to do much, even though they were undefeated coming into this game. Actually, both teams undefeated coming into this matchup, but West, a huge kickoff return from Omari and Wright to get things started for them. 93 yards, I believe. And from there, the Rebels just went on a rampage all night long. Again, 49-22, but a big night for Isaiah Mattress. He had a couple scores just like he did a few weeks ago against Farragut. A big night for Baker Dance as well, the West quarterback. And the Rebels are rolling going into week 5. And now on to Webb versus David Crockett. They hosted the Pioneers this past Friday night at Webb School. And for a while, it looked like the Pioneers were going to run away with it. They were up 2 and 3 scores at one point, especially with quarterback Cade Larkins running the show. He ended up having 3 touchdown passes on the night and definitely proving himself as a Mr. Football contender right now. But Webb wasn't done just yet after that first half. They came back in the second, made it a football game, but Crockett still able to pull away with the win, 28-21, and they are undefeated going into this week as well.
All right, Jake, you covering a lot of ground. You're covering Southwest Virginia. You're covering Middle and West Tennessee. Give us what's going on in all 3 of the areas.
All right, thanks, Roddy. So for Southwest Virginia this week, I'm really looking at the Patrick Henry Rebels. They're 3-0 right now going into this next week, coming off a 40-20 win over Hurley on Friday. Both teams were undefeated coming into that game, so a really big win there for Patrick Henry. Cody Smith for them, 155 yards on 12 carries with 2 touchdowns, and Dakota Rector, their quarterback, had 2 touchdowns himself. So really a big performance there for them going into this week's matchup. So also we're looking at the George with Maroons out of Wytheville. They're 3-0 after an opening loss to Redford, so 3-1 right now. They had a 40-6 win on Friday night over Marion. Simmons, he had 188 yards and 2 touchdowns on 12 of 18 passing as a quarterback, and also 7 touchdowns so far this season. So really look for Simmons to anchor their offense going forward. Moving on to West Tennessee, we're looking at the MUS Owls right now. They're 4-0 right now, coming off a 50-6 win over Melrose this past week. And then also Memphis Central. They're 2-0 after starting off 0-2 on the year, but they have got a big weapon in Darren Turner, who just recently committed to Arkansas after decommitting to LSU earlier in his recruiting cycle. Also in Memphis, we're looking at the Houston Mustangs. They're 4-0 on the season. They play Arlington this week in a major matchup there in West Tennessee, and they've got a great running back in Lincoln Rare. He had 33 carries for 255 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Mustangs this past Friday night. And lastly, in West Tennessee, looking at the Briarcrest Saints. They're 4-0 right now, and they've got a lot of weapons in Jabari Small and Omari Thomas. In Middle Tennessee, we are looking at Ravenwood as usual right now. They're 4-0, and they are coming off a big 61 to 47 win over Pulaski Academy. They play Brentwood High this Friday night. The Bruins are 3-1 so far this year, so look for that matchup against Ravenwood to be a big one for the Raptors this Friday. Also in Middle Tennessee, we are looking at the Innsworth Tigers. 4-0 right now. They are coming off a 42-10 win over Christ Presbyterian. They face Baylor this week, which is also 4-0 out of Chattanooga. So that's going to be a really big matchup after Baylor is coming off a 52-7 win over Chattanooga Central. So with those two teams, it's going to be Elijah Howard for Baylor, who's a Tennessee commit, versus Keyshawn Lawrence, the running back for Innsworth, who is also committed to the ball. So really look for that to be a major matchup with those offenses. And then lastly, McCallie, as the Blue Tornado, takes on the Knoxville Catholic Fighting Irish this Friday night. So a lot of big weapons there as well. And that'll do it for my segment. Thanks, guys.
You are watching Your High School Sports, the source for football in the Southeast. Stay tuned for more of Your High School Sports.
I'll tell you what, you don't have to look far to get savings right here at Bachman Bernard Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac in Greeneville. Save up to $10,000 on a brand new 2019 Buick Encore. Save up to $10,500 on a brand new 2019 Buick Enclave. And I'll tell you what, how about saving up to $12,000 on a brand new 2019 Buick LaCrosse? Up to $12,000. Make the short trip to Bachman Bernard Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac right here in Greeneville, where as always, I'm going to save you money.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
You are watching Your High School Sports, the source for football in the Southeast. Powered by Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge and on Highway 66 in Sevierville.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports. I'm your host, Roddy Woods, and we are powered by Krispy Kreme Donuts in Pigeon Forge, on the Parkway, and in Sevierville on Highway 66. Hey guys, I had a chance to talk to Coach Rosner from Central earlier. We know what Central's doing. But my question to him, and you're going to hear in a second, I asked him, is this carryover from last year's championship, or is this players buying into his system that want to get another gold ball? Let's see what he says.
It's a little bit of both. You know, we have a good combination of returning guys, returning starters, and some guys finally getting their feet wet on Friday Night Lights, and so a whole lot of excitement going on within the school and in the community. So you got a little bit of both. You got some carryover, and then you have some new excitement being made with some new players and some new plays.
All right, Coach. They rolling.
They're rolling, but you know what? They're kind of doing typical Knox Central style. They always come out a little slow out the gate, but he always seems to get together at the end.
They have that swag about them, too.
Yeah.
Without doing it. And make sure you catch all of our full-length videos on yourhighschoolsports.com.
And the reason why I wanted to say slow out the gate, I know they're winning, but if you see how they're winning, they're not the prettiest of wins.
No, but that's Central.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I meant by slow out the gate.
But that's Central. But like you said, that's Central football.
Yeah.
They always do it.
But then they started by the end.
Oh, man. I tell you, a surprise, South Door. They took it on the chin.
Remember, I won.
Yeah, you did.
I wasn't that close.
Yeah, Anderson County. You know, we talked how about Anderson County, what they were going to be like this year. Hey, you beat South Door.
Oh, yeah.
You're back in the mix here.
They are.
You're back in the mix. All right, stay with us here on Your High School Sports. We're coming back with Your High School's Top 10. So make sure you stay right here.
Stay tuned for more of Your High School Sports.
It may be hot outside, but I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit more. Right here at Bachman Bernard Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac right here in Greeneville. I'll tell you what, you want savings? I've got them. Save up to $10,000 on a brand new 2019 Buick Encore. That's right, up to $10,000. You can go to other dealers. They're going to say, well, no, they can't do that. Well, I'll tell you what. Come down here and try me. You're going to save up to $10,000 right here at Bachman Bernard Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac right here in Greeneville. Where, as always, you know it, I'm going to save you money.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
You're watching your high school sports!
Welcome back to Your High School Sports. Jake has joined us again. Chris Blevins is back, 10 man. And Chris Reddick is here. All right, give it to us.
All right, your high school sports top 10 for this week. Starting off is number 1, Maryville after that big win over Alcoa.
Okay.
Number 2, Innsworth. Number 3, Oakland out of Murfreesboro. Number 4, Ravenwood. They're 4-0 right now. Number 5, Brentwood Academy. Number 6 is Memphis University School. The Owls, they're 4-0 right now after a big win last week. At number 7 is Knoxville Central. Brian Rosser's team, they're quietly building all over again over there in North Knoxville. Number 8 is Alcoa right now. A big loss to Maryville last week, but I still included them because you can't ignore the talent that they have. Number 9 is McCallie. They are really doing well. They face Knoxville Catholic this week in a primetime matchup. And number 10 is the Briarcrest Christian Saints, who are 4-0 right now and have a matchup against St. Benedict this week in Memphis.
What do you got against East Tennessee?
What?
You got to go against East Tennessee. There's no teams up here. How come we win all the gold balls?
What about Maryville?
They're good. But what about Crockett? What about Greeneville?
Well, they're good, but they've also... Greeneville's lost a game.
But they lost a playoff.
But when you look at the teams that I have in West and Middle Tennessee right now, frankly, they're in bigger classifications and they're undefeated. So on paper, they're better.
I can't argue with that. All right. For your high school sports, for Chris Reddick, Chris Blevins, and Jake, I'm Roddy Woods, and we will see you next week right here on yourhighschoolsports.com.
Join us here each week for Your High School Sports, the source for football in the Southeast.
I need your trade. I need your trade. I need your trade. I'll tell you what, look at my lot. It's getting empty. That's because we've been selling a ton of vehicles. Make the short trip to Buck and Bernard. I need your trade. That means I'm going to put some dinero, some cash, lots of money in it. I'll tell you what, with your trade being worth what it is and the extra trade-in rebates, you can save up to $7,500 on a brand new 19 Cadillac XT5. Make the short trip to Buck and Bernard, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC Cadillac, right here in Greeneville, where as always, I'm going to save you money.